What's up, everybody? What is up? Welcome in on this terrific Tuesday afternoon. Going to be a little bit shorter podcast today, but we are going to get through the snapshots that I wanted to do today, and there's a couple different ones here. There are a couple different ones. I do want to go over a couple different things. Let me get out my handy, I feel like Steve from Blue's Clues, my handy dandy notebook. So yesterday, going down the list, and then obviously my rant on tanking. So last night we got a really, really good basketball game. And I mean amazing basketball game. The San Antonio Spurs and the Detroit Pistons put on one heck of a show. One heck of a show. And it was a great game. It really was. It was an absolutely fantastic game. And it was an all-around game that looked It looked good. The Spurs shot 42% from the field, 45% from three-point range. They only shot 63% from the line. And then the Pistons shot 38% from the field, only 19% from downtown, and 84% from the free throw line. But what I really noticed in all that was you've got two very young teams, and the Spurs here are on the road. They're on the road going up against what is the top team in the East. The Spurs have already beaten the Thunder. They've already knocked the Thunder off. And watching last night, I don't know if the Spurs are going to be able to truly make a deep run. But I'll tell you this. Next year they will, for sure. And depending on the playoff matchup, this Spurs team is young and they are ready to play basketball. Wemby, Vassell, Fox, Champagnie. I mean, the way that this team plays, Keldon Johnson off the bench, the other rookie, Dylan Harper. Then you've got Castle, who was supposedly a part of a lot of the trade talks when they were talking about getting Giannis. Heck no. Last night, 16 points, 11 rebounds. You're not trading a point guard in this league where there's a point guard shortage. Don't get rid of him. And you've got two, because De'Aaron Fox, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. The Spurs are back. This is a San Antonio Spurs team. This is the team that'll beat you because you don't know where to look and who to cover. Now, the Pistons play amazing defense. The Pistons are still the Pistons. They're rough. They're gruff. There's a little scuffle at the end of the game. I thought it was actually beautiful. I really did. I thought it was actually beautiful. And the reality is, if these two teams played in a 7-game NBA Finals series, I would absolutely be glued to the TV because they both have different aspects of team building, of youth team building that makes it fun to watch. Now, the other two games from last night were absolute garbage. The Kings won for the first time in 16 games. They had lost their previous 16. They won last night against a team that's trying to lose now, the Memphis Grizzlies. And then the Rockets destroyed the Jazz because the Jazz aren't trying to win right now either. Nonetheless, the Spurs and Pistons game was a very welcomed reprieve from the tanking stupidity that we have going on in the league right now. So I'm excited for it. I am legitimately excited for the playoffs because when we get to playoff basketball and we're done with all these teams that are trying to lose, there are going to be some great matchups. Tomorrow, I should be live a little bit earlier, so we'll have more time. Tomorrow, I'm going to go over the potential matchups and how each team matches up 6 weeks out from the end of the season. Because, FYI, we are getting there very, very quickly here. We are getting down to the end of the season. Sunday, April 12th is the last Sunday of the regular season in the NBA. So it's coming up pretty soon. So we need to start looking at, I said yesterday, I believe the 10 teams in the West and the 10 teams in the East will not change. Everybody below has already decided they're going to lose. Everybody. So I don't think that's going to change. Positioning is all we're looking at. Well, matchups are everything. You guys know this. If a team matches up badly in round number 1 of the playoffs, they can be out. It's matchup based. Some of these teams, they're a bad matchup for other teams because they can beat them where they're supposed to be strong. So we'll look at that a little bit tomorrow. But today, we're mainly going to focus on the next three teams in the snapshots for the off season. Like I said, last year, you guys had great responses. This was probably one of my most watched series on YouTube. Was the snapshot series from last year. This year, we're live. The podcast is live, so we're doing them live. And we're doing them again starting now. All right. So the three teams we're going to look at today, once again, we're going to continue on looking at those teams that have new head coaches. And yesterday we did the Cardinals with Mike LaFleur, we did the Giants with John Harbaugh, and we did the Titans with Robert Saleh. Now, trying to figure out who I wanted to do today. Trying to figure out how I wanted to do this. Well, we're going to finish the entire AFC North. So we're going to do the Ravens, we are going to do the Steelers, and we're going to do the Browns. We're going to do all three of those teams here today. We are going to open with everybody's favorite, the Browns. Why? They might as well be first in, another thing because they're always, around first in the NFL draft. But nonetheless, so the Cleveland Browns this year, looking at some of their free agents, we know certain players aren't coming back for sure already. Wyatt Teller has already said he's not returning. Joel Bitonio has already said he's not coming back. Those are their top two free agents. David Njoku also said he wouldn't come back. So I'm wondering what they're going to do. I did say yesterday, watch out for Cleveland to potentially be in the Kyler Murray running because it's a Brown thing to do. Not because I think he'd be a good fit by any stretch, but because I don't know if they're going to be okay with waiting around another year to get a quarterback that can really play football. So, with that being said, Joel Bitonio is 34 years old right now. He'll be 35 years old at the end of next season. He is an outstanding guard. He will get an offer from multiple locations, as he should. As a guard, he is outstanding. He brings a lot of leadership. The Raiders could benefit from bringing in Bitonio a lot. A lot. Wyatt Teller, the guard from the other side. He is 31. He'll be 32 at the end of next year. He's going to get a lot of offers. He will probably get in the $10 to $12 million a year range. Wyatt Teller may get up to $15 million a year for a 1 or 2 year contract deal. I like where all this is setting up. David Njoku will be 30 years old when the season starts. It's an older tight end. The thing is, there's a legitimate market for Njoku. Because there are a lot of tight ends that have been injured, that have failed. He's been injured. That's how Fannin really got a big jump on everything, was him and Njoku getting injured and Fannin coming in and filling in. They knew they had to. Well, if you're a team like the Lions, you're a team like the Vikings, where you've got Laporta, TJ Hawkinson, I think Njoku would be great in Washington or the Giants. I really think the Giants going after Njoku with Jackson Dart would be a smart play. He's going to probably get the $10 to $12 million a year range as well. So there's a lot of free agents from Cleveland that are going to actually be signed, and they can't afford them. The question is, what does Myles Garrett do? Myles Garrett re-signed last year. He got the huge contract offer. We know what that was, obviously. Okay? Reality is, does he really want to stick around again? I mean, again, teams will trade for him in a heartbeat. Teams will trade for him in a heartbeat. The Browns couldn't do anything. They fired their head coach. They have no clear vision for what's going to happen moving forward. Does Myles Garrett force his way out? Now, the Cleveland Browns draft. The draft, they have pick number 6, and they have pick number 24. 6 is their own. 24 is the pick they got from the Jacksonville Jaguars in the really stupid trade for Travis Hunter, but we're not going to go there right now. Then you have pick number 39, pick 70, pick 107, 139, 144, 147. 3 picks in the 5th round. That's really, really good. That is a big deal. Then you got pick 205 and 249. So altogether, they have 10 picks already in this draft. 10 picks in an NFL draft. You could really build the foundation for what you want to do in the future here. And if you trade Myles Garrett, you can probably get at least 3 more picks, let's say 2. At least 2 more picks this draft to be able to then use, and you're going to get picks for a future draft as well. But what's the issue with the Browns? Well, here it is. Bing! They are at $3 million in cap space, and they have $31.7 million in dead cap money. The Deshaun Watson contract has killed this team since they traded for him. I mean, it's comical in a way. But I feel bad for Cleveland Brown fans because their owner, being as impulsive as he is and unaware of how football works, has basically guaranteed the team will never be able to really build something. It's that simple. It's that simple. Browns have no cap space. They can't bring back their free agents. They're going to have to open up more cap with other players. Watch for guys to get traded or cut here very, very shortly. It is 2 weeks from tomorrow when the league year opens. It is 2 weeks from yesterday when the tampering period opens. Do not be surprised if teams start moving really fast because they're not going to want to miss out. I think teams are going to make moves really quickly. I really do. I think teams are going to make moves really, really quickly. All right. So that's the Browns. Now let's go to another team that I was shocked, but, slightly saw and expected, because I did tell you guys here on the podcast to watch for this coach to get fired, the Baltimore Ravens. This is an interesting one. So I was looking at their upcoming free agents. It's not bad. It really isn't. Their number one issue they have is Tyler Linderbaum, the center. He's going to be 26 years old. He was making $3.3 million. He is probably going to get $18 to $20 million a year. And the issue I see is the Ravens are currently at $22 million in cap space. That is the big one. That really is. That is the big one. Tyler Linderbaum, the outstanding center, if the Ravens do not sign him, is going to be the number one sought-after offensive lineman. Hands down, period. Everybody's going to be after him. The Raiders, the Chargers, the Colts would be smart to go after him, for gosh sakes. Tyler Linderbaum is outstanding. The Giants could go after him. The Commanders could go after him. The Cardinals could go after him. Shoot, the Rams could even go after him. He would be sought after by almost every single team in the NFL. So if the Ravens don't sign him soon, because the re-signing period is still going on, you can still re-sign your own players. If they don't get him locked up soon, I think the Ravens are going to get outbid. I really do. I think the Ravens can get outbid. Now, I wouldn't. Okay, I wouldn't. This is not where I would, if I was the Tennessee Titans, spend my money. I would not spend it on Lindenbaum. Lloyd is good. Lloyd is good at center for them. They need to draft their guard. Lloyd is good at center. But if they did sign Tyler Lindenbaum and move Kush over to guard, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't be able to sit here and go, that was a bad move. Nope. No. That would be a really good move. I don't think they should, but if they do, they can outprice everybody else. The Raiders could outprice everybody else. The Chargers could outprice people. Like, this is a huge free agent. Huge. There are other free agents. Draymond Jones, the edge rusher, he's a free agent. He'll probably get $10 to $12 million a year. Alohi Gilman, he's a free agent, the safety. He will be 29 at the beginning of next season. He will probably get, I'm going to say, we're going to say $4 to $6 million a year is probably what he'll get. He's more of a backup third safety option, but I do like him in the three safety looks. I do like him playing the deep safety cover zone. DeAndre Hopkins will be 34 years old at the start of next season. He's a free agent. Kyle Van Noy will be 35 years old at the beginning of next season. He is also a free agent. Longtime fullback Patrick Ricard is also a free agent. They better gosh darn well re-sign him. He's been there for a long time. Don't throw out your best blockers. One of the best blocking fullbacks there is in the entire league. So there are some players that they could potentially be losing. But when you look at their draft, they have pick number 14, 45, 80, 15. They also have 3 picks in the 5th round, 152, 160, 172. They have pick 173, pick 210, 250, and 252. For a grand total, when you add all of those up, that's 11 picks. 11 picks in this NFL draft. New head coach, Jesse Minter. I believe the defense is going to be stout once again. I believe having the Ravens defense in fantasy will be very suitable for anybody who wants to bring them in. I don't know what the offense is going to look like. Really don't know yet. I'm going to have to see how they play all this stuff out. But the defense, I'm pretty sure Jesse Minter is going to draft, of those 11 picks, 6 of them defense. It's a great defensive draft. They've got young players he can work with. They can really flip their salary cap defensively, getting rid of Van Noy, getting rid of Draymond Jones. They got to sign Lindenbaum, though. They got to sign Lindenbaum. It is not going to be it's just not going to go over well if you don't sign Lindenbaum. But they've got the ability to go right back to being the number 1 team in the AFC North. They do. In a heartbeat. And I don't think they were bad last year. I mean, Jackson was hurt so often. That Pittsburgh Steeler game in Week 18 was so odd. They couldn't get any pressure whatsoever on Aaron Rodgers. None. 0. The next week, the Texans didn't let Aaron Rodgers breathe. It was like literally, you're literally looking at the 2 colors of black and then white. That's it. Like, there was that stark of a difference. It's between light and dark. Like, I turn the light off, you can't see anything. That was the Ravens pass rush. You didn't see anything. Turn the light on, there was everything. including Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Alshire. I mean, it was everybody. The Ravens' defense last year was basically invisible. They were shadows. And unless you were, a really bad quarterback, you aren't afraid of shadows. I think Jesse Minter will fix that, and I do believe the Ravens will bounce back this year. They have the ability to. I trust the organization. Do I think Jesse Minter is going to work? He's got the backing of two different Harbaugh coaches that have both won, that have both played in Super Bowls, and one's won a national championship in college. I kind of trust him. Yeah, I think Minter is going to be fine in Baltimore for the next 15 years. I think Jesse Minter will do just fine. And I am excited for the future for Baltimore Raven football. I know it's weird for a Colts fan to say that, but I am. So there's the Baltimore Ravens. There's the snapshot of what the Baltimore Ravens offseason could look like. Now let's go to one of my favorite teams to talk about, because I have never talked about them in the light of anything good. So let's go to one of my favorite teams to talk about. The Pittsburgh Steel City Steelers. I don't know what's going to happen with them. This is great. Brand new head coach, Mike McCarthy. Good old-fashioned Yinzer comes in to take over the helm. And like I've said, it's the safe pick. Very safe pick. But is it the right one? We're probably not going to know. But here's something that's big. Kyle Duggar, the safety, he'll be 30 years old here shortly. He is a free agent. He was making $14 million. He will probably get around $6 million a year. Aaron Rodgers also don't know what he's doing yet. Can McCarthy convince him to come back? Why would you? Why would you? He gave up again. He gave up on the field again. He's like, I don't want to take these worthless kneel downs. Send in Mason Rudolph. Dude, you lost the game. Your play lost the game. But I know send Mason out there so I can save face. I wasn't the quarterback on the field when we lost. Yeah, you're just a losing quarterback. I know. Your attitude loses, you lose. You will never, ever be what Manning or Brady or even Breeze was. You're just not good enough to be able to be them. I wouldn't bring Aaron Rodgers back at all. His arm is going to be even more off, and people can get to him so fast because he's a statue. And don't know if you've noticed, but the Ravens are going to recoup everything. The Browns with Myles Garrett, the Pittsburgh Steelers used 4 players a play to block Myles Garrett. 4! If the Cincinnati Bengals have any sense at all, their defense will be better. And the Steelers have no offensive line. Well, one of their guards, Samalo, he is a free agent. He will be 33 years old. Next season will probably garner about $9 to $11 million a year. He's a free agent. I think they may be able to re-sign him. Cole Holcomb, their linebacker, is also a free agent. Miles Kilbrew, free agent as well. Kenneth Gainwell, who was a huge factor this year for the Steelers, one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite targets, he's a free agent. Jabril Peppers is a free agent. Asante Samuel Jr. is a free agent again. There's just a lot of question marks with this team. You don't know what they are. So look in here. They got $45 million in cap space. $45 million. They have $8 million in dead cap money. Their space is relatively open. It's a good number to have if you're already an established team. It's not a great number if you're not established. Okay? Other teams right around them money-wise, the Rams, they're kind of established. The Patriots, I think they're pretty established. 49ers. Yep. Established. The Broncos. Buccaneers. Teams that only have to make improvements are sitting in that $30 to $40 million range in cap space. The bad teams, the Titans, the Raiders, the Jets, they're up top. They're at 80 million plus. So the Steelers, being a team that just beats up on bad teams, is very talent deprived because there's not a lot of talent on this team. Now has a new head coach, Mike McCarthy. They are allergic to being under 500 because can't do that. We're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, I remember all the years with Cordell Stewart. Cordell Stewart, I think, now would be an awesome quarterback, but nonetheless, I don't know what they're going to do. And unlike Baltimore, who consistently evolves with what happens, I can't trust the Pittsburgh Steelers. Are you kidding me? Trusting them to make the right moves, to go offense instead of defense, time would have to stop. If they draft an offensive guard in the first round, I won't be surprised. If they draft defense in the first round, I won't be surprised. You know what I'll be shocked at? Is if they draft a receiver or a running back at pick number 21. If they draft a capable quarterback, which I don't think Ty Simpson is, but they still may do it. I don't really like Ty Simpson, but that's for later podcasts. We'll get into him later. So the draft picks that the Steelers have are pick number 21. They have pick number 53. They've got 3 picks in the third round. This is an outstanding setup. Picks 76, 85, and 99 are all owned by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have got some really good draft picks. 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. Excellent. They got 2 picks in the fourth round, 121 and 135. They got to pick 159 in the fifth, 213, 215 in the sixth, and then 225, 238 in the seventh. The Pittsburgh Steelers. You want to change your fortunes around. 12 draft picks is the way to do it. Just saying. 12 draft picks, 7 in the first 4 rounds. That is how you change your franchise. The question is, are you willing to change what your franchise is? We all know Steel City. We all know the Steel Curtain. That was then. You were able to keep that mantra through the Big Ben years. Through all of Cowher with, what was going on. And then ever since with Tomlin, you've been able to try to keep that identity. Listen, trade TJ Watt. He is too expensive for what you need to do. You need to reset. You need to spend the money on the offense. You need to pull a Baltimore Raven move and go get Tyler Linderbaum from Baltimore. Get a center that can be a stalwart on that offensive line. Get something. Make a move. The Steelers have been stuck in the same record for years. 9-8, 9-8, 9-8, 9-8, 9-8, 10-7, 9-8, and never winning anything against a team that's actually ready to play football. The Steelers have looked outmatched. The Steelers have looked lost for the last 5 years. Organizationally, When you're running a business, okay, it is vitally important to understand when to pivot off, when to change the approach, and when to just cut something. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been trying to run everything off of we're defense, we're tough, we're the toughest team in the NFL, the brand, the steel curtain, the towels. They've been trying to run everything off of that. But while they were doing that, this team in Kansas City was constantly evolving. This team out in Los Angeles was trading all their first-round picks, making the playoffs all the time, making these wild trades and winning a Super Bowl and being one of the best teams in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers have tried to keep the same hamster wheel for a long time. And that hamster is basically just slowing down to a crawl because they can't fight. They can't fight with these self-propelled teams now that have built something underneath that helps them build, that helps them fight. The Texans, they're initiated. Their defense is what the Steelers want to have. But the Texans have such a core. Their hamster wheel right now is basically running. It's running on a freaking motor. And that motor is powering it so that the hamster doesn't get tired. The Pittsburgh Steelers have not upgraded to an automatic hamster wheel. They're still manual. They're still trying to do it on their own. The hamster's tired. Give him a break. It's worn. It's time out. Pivot, Pittsburgh. You are one of the best organizations in the NFL. You are an outstanding brand for the NFL. And the NFL is definitely better when Pittsburgh Steelers are good. So please be it. Pivot. Make the move to offense. Sign the players that are going to help you build the team. Listen, he is not Marvin Lewis. I understand that. But Mike Tomlin drafted a lot of very questionable character players. The same way Marvin Lewis did. Done with it. That's not what's going to help. All your drama has been from those players. Stop bringing in the drama. Bring in players that are going to help you win, that are going to help you push the team forward and fight with the Baltimore Ravens for the number one spot in the AFC North. And for you Bengal and Browns fans, I'm sorry. Browns, you're the Browns. Bengals, I don't trust your coach. I don't trust your owner to spend money. You have got the number one pocket quarterback in the NFL. And the number two or number one receiver in the NFL. You've got that. I don't trust your ownership. I don't trust the running of the team. Sorry. Just what it is. I love your quarterback. I like your team on offense. I just don't trust anybody else. Pittsburgh. Pivot. Change it up. Upgrade. Get the motorized hamster wheel so that the hamster doesn't get tired. Build something that's sustainable. Build something that'll work. So there's my analogy that you guys can laugh at for the day. All right. So there we go. Steelers, Ravens, and Browns. Oh, gosh. All right. So, let's see here. All right. So some news that just came out. The Baltimore Ravens. Let's see. Well, okay. So, yeah, the Ravens are targeting the Lamar Jackson extension and the Lindenbaum, and Tyler Lindenbaum. They are trying to get that. They are trying to get that done. I don't want to get into that. Nope. No. Yeah, I'm not getting into that. That's politics. Forget that. All right, the Jets plan on using the tag on Breece Hall if no deal can be reached. That's interesting. Okay. The Dolphins GM said that everything is on the table when it comes to Tua, including keeping him on the team as a backup because he's not going to hurt your cap any worse than cutting him. So, yeah. Everything's on the table right now with Tua. The Dolphins don't want him. It's clear. Texans GM, listen, this one's true. CJ Stroud is not getting traded from Houston. They will lose their fan base. And I know people were like, well, look what he did in the playoffs. So what? So what? I mean, a bunch of other quarterbacks have failed in the playoffs. CJ Stroud is 3-3 in the playoffs. 3-3. Shut up. Just stop. He's not getting traded. Dave Canales did concede play calling to Brad Idzik there in Carolina, which I didn't expect to have happen. And the Atlanta Falcons are going to cut Kirk Cousins on March 11th, the day of the league year opening. So there's your news there. All right. Where did it go? There it is. All right. So the Olympics is over. Okay. The Olympics is over. And we are going to look at the final medal count for the Winter Olympics. Number one this Winter Olympics was Norway. They had 41 total medals, 18 gold, 12 silver, and 11 bronze. Congratulations to them. The United States did end up pulling out a lot at the end. In fact, if you were watching on Sunday, it was outstanding. It was outstanding on Sunday. I love every second of it. That hockey game on Sunday was, I can't put it in the Miracle. I wasn't around for Miracle. Okay? I can't put it in that realm. But the intensity on the ice, the game that was played on the ice on Sunday, was astounding. Astounding. I mean, it was impressive. It really was, and I'm so happy for you, USA. It was great. It was great. The hockey teams were fantastic this year. The men's and women's hockey team, huge congratulations to them. So the United States, second in the medal count at 33 medals, 12 gold, 12 silver, 9 bronze, and then coming in third, the host country, Italy, 10 gold, 6 silver, 14 bronze for a grand total of 30 medals. Now, like I did the other time, we're going to go down to the bottom, and we're going to give credit to those countries that just had one medal. One medal. Brazil had 1 gold. Kazakhstan had 1 gold. Georgia had 1 silver. Estonia had a silver. Denmark had a silver. And then Belgium had a lone bronze. Remember, in a lot of other countries, these medals mean a lot more than they do to us here in the States. It is a high honor. So for those athletes in some of those countries, this is a huge thing to come back from the 2026 Winter Olympics with a medal. It is a sense of pride, and good for them. Good for them. All right, guys. Told you it's going to be a little bit shorter of a podcast. I know I went live a little bit later. Tomorrow, we'll have the full hour. and we'll rock and roll. We got basketball games tonight. I'm sure there's going to be more NFL news. As always, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the podcast with a friend. As always, I deeply appreciate it. And I will be back tomorrow with more news and 3 more teams in the NFL snapshots for this 2026 offseason. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Make it the best day that you can. It's Tuesday. We're going into Wednesday tomorrow. Make it the best day you can. Appreciate you all. For Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.